Hello everybody. Welcome back to another Borderlands 2 unofficial community patch video. Today we're going to be looking at yet another unique Axton build. And before I get into anything, if you've been enjoying the content, please comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. It would definitely help me out. And if there's something that you guys really would like to see me do or whatever, just throw it out there and I can probably do it. So yeah, anyway, so for this build, it's going to be a Jakobs Allegiance non-elemental accent build that revolves around duty calls. So duty calls buffs non-elemental weapons, hence why we're using Jacob. None of these are elemental. And I'm also using the warfare specialist military specialist because it buffs duty calls. And before we get into it, let's go ahead and take a look at what UCP changes for these skills and the comm, of course. So first of all, the Specialist Comm now boosts Onslaught instead of Forbearance. I'd say that's a good thing. That's a huge boost to your DPS. Onslaught's a great kill skill. And instead of boosting SMG accuracy, it now increases shotgun damage and accuracy. So what this means to me essentially is that Jacob shotguns like the Quad, the Triquetra, the Hydra, the Rustler's Orphan Maker, guns like that are now very viable with the duty calls build, and that's what made me think of this. And also, let's see what they changed with duty calls. Yeah, here we go. So, for duty calls, they replaced the fire rate with additive critical hit damage and changed the gun damage to 8% instead of 5% per point. That's a pretty big deal. So the gun damage is going to be a lot higher, especially with depending on the amount of points you put into it, the more the better. And additive critical hit damage is a big deal because additive critical hit damage essentially means, without getting too much into the math, that you're going to have really high critical hit damage. It's better than multiplicative because it's just a straight on addition to that number. So, long story short, it's good. So, with that being said, that's why we're using the military specialist comm and we're focusing on duty calls with non-elemental weapons. And I think we'll just go ahead and get into the skill build, and then I'll kind of go over the gear and why I'm using it. Okay, so I think we'll just go ahead and start on the right tree. Preparation's a great skill. Shield capacity, um, and some HP regeneration while the shield is full. Very cool. And then pressure, reload speed and shield recharge delay in a pinch. Very good skill. Love this one. Then we're going to take phalanx. More shield capacity, and also I find it to be a very useful utility skill for the turret. And then quick charge, more survivability, more shield regeneration. And then we'll go ahead and take maglock. Now we'll go ahead and stop here for now. We might come back, but I don't think so. So now we're in the blue tree. And this one, I've said this before, I think it's preference. I just really like expertise. All of these things are super nice, particularly weapon swap speed. Um, weapon swap speed directly translates to DPS on the higher difficulties because you have to slag things on UVHM. So if I can slag and then immediately switch to a weapon way faster than any other character, I'm going to be dealing more damage. That's one of the big reasons I like this skill. And then moving on, we'll get Metal Storm, great kill skill, increases our DPS. Longbow is another great skill, more turret health, and allows us more flexibility with the placement. And then Steady is not super necessary with this build. Like, we don't benefit really from grenade damage and rocket launcher damage because we're using non-elemental weapons. The recoil's nice, but I don't think it's really necessary. We're going to grab Battlefront instead because it buffs things that we use more, like gun damage and critical hit damage. We'll go ahead and max it. It's just a very good skill. And then, of course, the linchpin of the build, duty calls. Okay, excuse me. So at 10 points from the class mod, we get 80% gun damage, which is humongous. That's a lot of gun damage, and 30% additive critical hit damage on top of the Battlefront. So we're doing some serious crit damage and just some serious gun damage, period, especially when we have that turret out. So that's really, really, really good. So I think with that, we're pretty good. I mean, this is the main skill that we wanted. So we'll go ahead and move on to the green tree. And our class mod buffs this, and this is just a great skill to buff your DPS anyways. Reload speed is a direct correlation to DPS. Sentry's great because more turret uptime, which also means more DPS with Battlefront. Willing, another survivability skill. Scorched Earth, just nice. I think it helps the turret damage, especially with the UCP. Onslaught's an amazing kill skill. Um, Huge buff to our DPS and mobility. And then since, spoiler alert, we won't be using a Bone of the Ancients, we're kind of going to need the cooldown rate. So we're going to go ahead and max this. And then we'll take the double up. Now, this is where things get a little debatable, I would say. We could go for double up or nuke. Now, this build is not super turret reliant. So I think the nuke might be pretty good because it gives us some crowd control and it also gives us lower cooldown rate, which again is very useful with the build that doesn't really have access to cooldown rate. So I think that's what we're going to do. And it's not a very grenade reliant build, so I think we might just take impact, give us some gun damage and some accuracy. Why not? And then we get the nuke. 20% cooldown rate, it gives us good crowd control, some pretty good damage as well. I think we're pretty much good on the green tree. You could take Able or Grenadier if you want. They're both great skills. Able will help your survivability. But I think what I'm going to do instead is I think I'll go ahead and max Quick Charge. And then I think we'll grab some points into Forbearance. Yeah, and I think we'll pretty much just call it a day. I think this is pretty good right here. So Forbearance gives us a nice damage reduction and lower status effect duration. It's pretty nice. You could definitely go for the double up. I mean, that's a good skill. Like I said, I don't think this build is so reliant on the turret DPS, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. You mainly just want the buffs from Battlefront and a little bit of aggro relief so you can go to town. It's really up to you, though. I've tried both, so I think they're both quite effective. I think it mostly just comes down to preference. So yeah, here's the build. And for the gear, Slaga, it's just our slag weapon, nothing really specific going on there. And then the Becca, a very strong non-elemental assault rifle. It's really good. It's good on pretty much any character. Jakobs weapon as well. We're going with the Jakobs Allegiance. The Maggie, very high damage, very high crit damage, which is something that this build excels at. Synergizes well with the build. And then lastly, we have the Flare, which replaces the tidal wave in the unofficial community patch. And honestly, you can literally use this gun and nothing else. The other two are just kind of for fun. They're just kind of there if you want. But this gun is absolutely disgusting with the military specialist comm. That shotgun damage and accuracy is huge. And that Jakobs Allegiance severely reduces the recoil and gives it a huge mag size to where you can just keep spraying and keep doing significant damage. And we actually do not have the Rustler's prefix, which gives more projectiles, simply because the Doc's prefix gives more critical damage. And this is a build that's already focused on critical damage. And also the fact that it has less projectiles, the Rustler's prefix lowers the accuracy. This will keep it more accurate from that mid-range area, and it'll also be super high DPS as long as we're hitting crits. So it's really good. You could literally just use this weapon, you'll be fine. It's super, super good. And yeah, we got the Blockade, just a solid shield, and then the Slag O negative. This is going to be our primary form of survivability outside of a few of the skills that I grabbed, but yeah, that's pretty much it. This is all we'll be using. And here's the final build again, one more time. And I think we'll go ahead and cut it out for the gameplay. All right, and we're back with the gameplay. Here's the gear really quick one more time. And the build. All right, yeah, I usually don't commentate this part, but I felt it might be a little bit better for this build since it's kind of it's kind of a strange one, so. As you can see already, I mean, it's just working, people. This gun is awesome. Honestly, like the flare, it's not like exclusive to Axton. This gun is very strong. and it's honestly a really awesome replacement. I'm really glad they added this in. It's in the pre-sequel, but they basically just decided to add it into this game as a replacement option, and really glad they did because it's insanely good. And as you can see, it's got great range, like especially with that recoil reduction and with the Jakobs relic, and just not having the rustlers prefix generally does help. Has better accuracy. If I was running rustlers, I would not be able to hit them from this range. It's got great fire rate. I mean, it's really up to you how you want to use this. You can get in their face, or also kind of just stand back. But as you can see, it's kind of working enemies. It's probably not the most ammo efficient, but it's fun. It's really fun, honestly. I love this gun. Let's see if I can, yeah. Honestly, these guys are super annoying for this build. I don't really have a good way of, like, bypassing their shield. It's so reliant on crit damage that it's a little difficult. There we go. What is the turret doing? What the hell? It was like underground. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, as soon as he lets down that shield, it's really not that bad, but that's kind of the problem. There we go. Oh man, a lot of nomads. This is honestly pretty bad spawns. There we go. Yeah. Those guys are a bit annoying for this build because I can't crit them, and it's kind of what this build thrives off of. But, I mean, even still, it wasn't that bad. You know, I didn't even play that very well. I just kind of ran in. The nuke's actually pretty good, too, if you notice. Like, the damage is really respectable. Alright, this is probably when I should pull out the Becca. A little bit more longer range environment. They're moving around too much. Definitely good damage, though. See what we can do. Nice. This recoil reduction is honestly very noticeable from the Allegiance relic. I like this a lot. Oh, thought I had him slagged. Oh, a lot more just spawned in. Go ahead and regroup a little bit. Uh-oh. Man, these nomads just are relentless. It's like the kryptonite of this build. That shield. Alright, let's maybe just nuke him. Get him to back up a little bit. Yeah, that helped. There we go. That's helping a lot. And here we go again. Try to shoot through the middle there. What? Wait, what? If I could just shoot his head. There we go. Make sure we have this guy slagged. And an easy kill. There we go. Yeah, I mean, honestly, we're pretty much tearing through everything that isn't a nomad. The shield makes it a lot more complicated than it really should be. I mean, even still, like, we're not really having a big issue. Nice. Try to pull out the Becca since we're at a better range here. Yeah, very nice. That magazine size is so noticeable, like, it almost feels weird that I'm not reloading. Like, I've used a lot of these guns before. It just, like, almost doesn't feel right. Oh, nice. He let his shield up for a second there. Let's see if we can encourage him to drop it again. Yeah, there we go. That makes it much easier. Where did that guy go? He's really running. Man, that's some interesting movement. Alright. Can I climb up the ladder? There we go. Get a little bit of healing with that O negative. And just kind of take him out from range. And let's start moving up now. Let's see. Oh, I thought he would be slagged, but that's okay. Had some kind of bad aim there. He should have died quicker, but nonetheless, not really an issue. Where'd that? We're kind of at a bad angle here, unfortunately. Alright, let's get the turret out. Maybe can provoke them to a better angle. Ow, that doesn't feel too good. Let's get that shield down and we'll be fine. Nice. Forbearance coming into work there, honestly. Probably saved me from death. Reducing that shock damage every time. Very nice. Yeah, things are going pretty smoothly. And honestly, I'm like not even close to playing this perfectly. Like this could be much smoother. And these nomads are really annoying for this build though. There we go. I mean, even without slag, like, moves through enemies very quick. Like, this build's scary, man. It's good. It's really, really good. I'd love to give this a shot, like, in the peak or something. I'm honestly interested how this would perform. I basically was fooling around with this, like, all day today and trying to find, like, the right combination, and I eventually tested the flare and was just kind of blown away. Like, this weapon is so good. I was really surprised. And I'm really enjoying it. Like, this is a very fun Axton build. It's different. It's a nice change of pace. Alright, let's get the nuke. And just destroy this guy. Honestly, I would like a better sight on this shotgun, though. That's the only thing. I've been experimenting with them, and I really can't find one that I love. This one zooms in a little bit too far for my liking, but I'm not really sure what the alternatives would be. I've tried a few, and this one's the best so far, even though I don't love it. Just go ahead and get in there. Missed a few shots there. Is my turret doing that weird thing where it's underground again? Yeah. Back up a little bit. And destroy this guy. I need to slack him. Very nice. Very nice. Nope, missing everything. There we go. Pretty much at the end here. Honestly, love that the military specialist got changed to buff Onslaught. Like, having 9 points in Onslaught is wonderful. Such a good kill skill. I feel like Lightning McQueen with this shit. Nice. Alright. Yeah, that went super well. And again, I definitely could have played that better, but I still think it went quite well. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I think this is a very like unique accent build, and honestly, I think it's super super fun. Like you guys should definitely give this a try, and especially if you're using the UCP, like the flare is absolutely amazing. So definitely give that a shot. And yeah, also let me know in the comments if you guys would like to see like a vanilla version of this. I actually do have a pretty good idea of what I would do for a vanilla duty calls like warfare specialist build or military. I don't know why I keep saying warfare, but yeah, like if that's something that interests you guys, I can definitely do it. So let me know. And thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day or night.